All right, good morning, everybody. Now we are starting again with our daily editions of Khan Academy SAT problems. And today we are focusing on circle equations. By the way, we're almost through every single category of SAT math question type on Khan Academy, which is really cool. And then we got 2 categories left. So 2 more days left. And today, again, focusing on circle equations. So without further ado, let's get into it. Someone's up with the camera, so we're going to jump right to the screen share. And here we go. And if you're watching on Instagram, thank you so much. You can see the actual problems being solved on my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, search for Scalar Learning. And we are in. And without further ado, let's begin. Question number 1. So before I get into this question, let me quickly explain or run through what the equation of a circle looks like. But once you identify the different pieces or the different parts, these problems aren't too bad. They're pretty hard if you don't know the formula. So, and hey there, how's it going, Elk? Thank you for watching. All right, so here we go. If we have x minus 17 squared, y minus 9. This is the generic formula for a circle. It's like this: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So what does this means? That whatever is in being subtracted from x and whatever's being subtracted from y, that h and that k, those guys make up the circle. So that means that this particular circle in this equation is centered at 17, 9 at that coordinate. It's not asking for that, but that's where it's centered. And the radius is this value over here. But notice it's not just the radius, it's the radius squared. So that means 49 is in fact the radius squared. So if we want to get the radius, we have to take the square root of whatever this number is. So you just take the square root of 49. And this is a no calculator section problem. So you're going to have to you're going to have to know this. And the square root of 49 is 7. All right, so let's go ahead and plug that in and see what they say, and that is correct. Okay, excellent. And they do make the distinction, by the way. They say that you can get plus or minus 7, which is true for any square root. But with these types of problems where we're actually calculating lengths, we discard the negatives. We don't have negative lengths. All right, let's jump to question number 2. Again, this is another non-calculator section. So let's clear the board and throw it up here. Question number 2. A circle in the xy plane has the equation x plus 17.5 plus y minus 15.3, repeating, both of those squared, equals 18.1. Which of the following best describes the location of the center of the circle and the length of its radius? Now, we could approximate. Okay, actually, no, we don't even need, a calculator would be of no help because I'm just looking at the answers. Remember what I said before, we've got the center is at x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So the center is again going to be hk, and the radius is just going to be r. So and let's right off the bat look at this radius. This 18.1 is radius squared. Therefore, radius is the square root of that, right? Because we need the square root of 18.1. B and D are gone because they have the incorrect radius. This is the right radius, square root of 18.1. Now we just decide between 2 answers. We figure out which one is the right center, which one is the wrong center. And notice all this changes, the negatives are switched. Well, what did we say here? The original equation is x minus h squared, and that gives us a positive h for our center. So since it's, let's at least look at the y value. Since it's y minus 15.3 repeating, just like here, y minus k, the k should be positive. The 15.3 should be positive, which we have in A. We also notice that the h is negative 17.5. Now, that's an interesting thing that people overlook. But when you have x plus 17.5 squared like this, that means, in fact, it's a negative h. You can think about it as x minus negative h. Right? It has to be negative in order for this guy to turn positive, to be x plus h. So A is, in fact, our answer. There you go. It is correct. Let's jump to question number 3. Question number 3. And here we go. All right, a circle on the xy plane is the equation, blah, 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 blah. What is the radius of the circle? Round the answer to the nearest tenth. Now, they've thrown a curveball in here because you might look at this and be like, oh, well, here's my h value, and here's my k value, and here's my radius value. But the formula doesn't work, or it doesn't give you the actual radius until you have the exact same setup. And the problem is we've got our constants over here, and we've got numbers that are multiplying these guys over here, which won't give us the accurate result with that setup. So we have to move all those values out of there. So let's first move this 21 away from the left side to the right side. So I'm going to add 21 to both sides. So now I'll rewrite this as 3.5. So it's going to be a lot to write. X plus 3.5 y minus 11.1 squared equals, now that equals 21. The 21's been moved over. We're almost there now, but now we have the 3.5s that we also don't want. So we need to get rid of those. So since it's multiplying, and it's multiplying both of these values, we can actually divide each one of these values by 3.5. Like, they made it pretty easy for us to get rid of this value, because we can just divide everything by 3.5. That takes care of this, that takes care of this. And then what's 21 divided by 3.5? So you could do this on your calculator if you wanted to, but I can give you a quick shortcut. It's 3.5 is half of 7. So you probably know what 21 divided by 7 is. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Since 3.5 is half of 7, we can actually, it's like, you then, since it's half of 7 and you're dividing by it, that means you double whatever your result is. So 3.5 goes into 21, not 7 times, but 14. I'm sorry, not 3 times, but 6 times. So this ends up being 6. And now we have x plus 2.2 squared plus y minus 11.1 squared equals 6. Okay, so again, you can go ahead and double check that if you want in your calculator. More than welcome to come test day just to make sure your arithmetic is just right. Now we've got the right setup. And again, oh, you know what? And we actually, you do need a calculator for this one, because the radius is now going to be the square root of 6. And we need to round to the nearest 10. So I don't know what the square root of 6 is. I don't know what it rounds to the nearest 10. So I'm going to have to use a calculator. So let's go ahead and plug it in over here. And so we say square root of 6 is 2 point blah, blah, blah. But if we want the nearest 10th, it would just be 2.4, because we don't round up. So that would be it, 2.4. Now let's make sure we did everything right. Let's plug it in and see what they say. And that is indeed correct. Square root of 6, 2.4. Awesome. Okay, we got 2 more problems left. Now we got 4. Let's give this a shot here. 2.4. All right, question 4. Nice. All right, so this is another one where identifying the parts of the circle. I'm going to set it up one more time with the formula: x minus h squared plus x minus k squared equals r squared. From this formula, center's at hk, radius is just r, so it's the square root of this number. Which of the following correctly describes the location of the center of the circle and the length of its radius? Again, notice this is a normal, nice minus 16, so we know our center is going to be 16, comma. What about this? But be careful, it's not 16 positive 25. It's 16 negative 25, because that's a plus. It's a little counterintuitive. You see a plus, you think it's positive, but that's actually the reverse. So it's 16 negative 25. And the radius is going to be the square root of 36, which is 6. So here's everything you need. Once again, these ones with 36 right off the bat, cross them off. And then this one, C, is wrong because the negatives are flipped. and it's A. That's it. You get a question like this, if you can just remember the general layout of these equations, you're good to go. All right. Now, this is also in the no calculator section, I assume. Actually, it depends, but just in the off chance, I'm guessing that you can't actually graph this equation out and then be like, oh, well, there's the center, there's the radius. They want you to be able to know or have the formula memorized. All right, final question, question 5. Let's get it up on the board here. All righty, question number 5. A circle in the xy plane has its center at 44, -34, and radius square root 3. All right, now they say which of the following is the equation of the circle? They want you to go backwards. So wait, if I'm going to do it one more time for you guys, where we're going to map out the equation. You're going to see exactly how to plug it in, because this one is really not bad if you got all these different pieces. Oh, what am I doing? This is y minus hk and y minus k squared equals r squared. So now let's plug in our different pieces. X minus, right? Here's the x coordinate of the center. X minus 44 squared plus y minus, and then we got -34 here. Y minus -34 squared equals square root of 3. That's the radius, but we got to square that. So let's just clean this equation up a little bit. We got x minus 44 squared plus y. This is a minus, negative becomes a positive 34 squared. And square root of 3 squared, these two just nullify each other. The square root and the square, they're opposite operations. So that is, we are just left with 3. And that's it. Here's your equation of the circle. You notice I don't even look at the answer choices in this case, because I kind of know exactly what I got to do. I'm going to solve it, and then I can look back, quickly eliminate. Once again, if you are having trouble right off, they've made mistakes here, like this square root of 3 and square root of 3. That's not what comes on this side. It's the radius squared. So B and D are obviously gone. This one, C, is going to be the answer. And with A, they've flipped the places of the X and Y's. You see that? 34 shouldn't be there. So it's C is our answer. C. Let's see if it is right. It's correct. All right, very nice. So that's it. Those are the problems. I'm gonna go off screen share here, but so once again, having a little camera issue, which happens from time to time with Google Hangouts. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys do have any questions or comments, please leave a comment in the comments below. If you like the video, make sure to like it. And finally, if you want more videos, more information on math and all things related to education, make sure to subscribe to the Scalar Learning YouTube channel right away. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I hope you have an excellent day. Take it easy.